Hey everybody, how's it going? The Johnny Cage here, and today we're starting up a brand new LP by Konami, made in 1992. We're playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. And I got a lot of requests, well I didn't get a lot of requests, but I got some requests to do a Ninja Turtles game. They wanted me to play, some people wanted me to play Manhattan Project, some people wanted me to play Turtles in Time, so I decided after doing a little bit of comparison back and forth to do Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, because it is a little bit easier of a game, and excuse me while I take a small liberty and put it onto easy myself. I'm doing this. Notice how I only get 3 continues when I put it onto easy though, but I can raise the amount of rests I have, which is the number of lives you have. I'm doing this because A, I want to beat the game, and B, I am only playing it 1 player. I really wanted to do this 2 players at the time, but there was no one else around. I couldn't really set it up that well to do it. This is a pretty short game though. I think it's total 9 levels. I'm going to go with Donatello because he's my all-time favorite Ninja Turtle. I love guys with bow staffs. I don't know why. That's just like a weapon for me. Like, my favorite X-Men is Gambit, and he uses a bow staff, and my favorite Soul Calibur fighter is Killick, who also uses a bow staff. But, so, Shredder's here taunting the Turtles, and he's stolen the Statue of Liberty for some strange reason. And we are going to the Big Apple, 3 in the morning. Of course, the Turtles from New York, taking on a silhouette of what looks to be Baxter Stockman. Now, this game is all sorts of fun. Boom, right there from the bat. You can see if you get enemies crouched over like that, you can throw them at the screen by kind of like just approaching them after they're crouching over and then hitting the attack button again. And you'll either throw them at the screen like that, or you'll grab them by the arm and kind of throw them back and forth. You can also do that kind of a kick, I don't know what you would call it. It's the jump and the kick button together, but it's not a jump kick. It's just like kind of like a move where you shoot yourself off of your bow staff and hit them, but it actually requires a great deal of health, and I did not even notice it at first that it required so much health to use. I kind of figured it would. They've got that in a lot of side-scrolling beat-em-ups, especially for the Super Nintendo. The Final Fight series certainly comes to mind. There's a pizza on the ground right there, which will of course give you all of your life back. And then there's the red classic exploding barrel, which will explode a few seconds after you hit it with your weapon. And oh, looks like not a lot of guys here. Oh well, might as well blow it up anyways. And we're moving. Oh, looks like I got that guy in red right there. Nice. Oh, totally awesome. Barrel was worth it. So yeah, you have your enemy damage counter up in the top there. I love all the like little things in this game, like Krang's big robot guy here that shoots lasers. It's really awesome that there are so many little things within the levels that are you can interact with, most of them obviously in a negative kind of a way, but that's just such a cool thing. There's so many games that have such cool backgrounds and settings, and they don't do anything with them. I'm particularly talking about fighting games. You know, so many awesome backgrounds people spend so much time on, and yet you can't do anything with them, except for like the DOA series, where those were very interactive. But I mean, now I'm talking about the DOA series, so I don't think I need to say any more than that really about Dead or Alive. Anyhow, I like the fact that enemies get hit by that stuff too. In the NES versions of these games, the enemies didn't often get hit. They didn't have any hit detection on things like that ball would be. I remember like playing number 2, where the ball would fall down the stairs. And in the arcade it hurt some, but in the NES version I don't believe it does. That's also a really tough game too. That one's probably the toughest one of the 2-player Turtle games that you can find. So we're taking on Baxter Stockman first. It's pretty easy. You just slice back and forth, and as you can see here, got to kind of get your depth perception correct because he's hitting me with his little machine gun. But you know, he just goes back and forth. Really a very standard kind of boss. I really think those health bars are weird, aren't they? They're just blocks of health. And now he gets this big handgun, which is kind of weird about halfway through. But there's blocks of health, and you don't really know how much. But they've got the traditional flashing, which is so much fun to see in video games. It's like, how much is he flashing? That must be how damaged he is. That'd be great if that was something in real life. But he's just about taken out here. There he goes down, and he's going to just blow up and fall over the edge. All the enemies in this game blow up, even if they're not supposed to. It's just the default setting for bad guy. What does he do? He blows up, of course. So scene 2, here we go, Alley Cat Blues, a silhouette of Metalhead right there. That's always the boss bad guy, if you haven't come to figure already. This is great, because this is definitely a play on level 2 of the arcade game. You've got the fire hydrant that you can hit there, and you can knock the nozzle of it into a bad guy, which is just great. Only downside here is that you don't have as much room to work with. As you can see, these guys are starting to gang up on me quite a bit. If you haven't noticed, your basic attack is just a 4-hit combo just by hitting the attack button. And you'll see me accidentally do that special attack all the time, because I'm trying to most of the time do a short jump kick. As people have said, any game made in the 90s, the jump kick is really an awesome move, the best way to win. I love how you can knock those sewer lids back at the guys too. That's just so much fun. Like, I wish they had more games like this, and nowadays just kind of just fighting beat 'em ups. You can sit down with a friend for like an hour and play through it. It's so much. It's total blast from the past for me. That's for sure. I love games like this. But I have seen the guys on Video Games Awesome. They played the remastered, kind of reshelled, I believe it was, the reshelled version of this game. But man, they made it look terrible. It kind of had like cell shading kind of look to it, and they changed it up quite a bit. They didn't have any of the real like enemies from this game. Well, they didn't have any of the real like bosses. They switched them up quite a bit. Switched up the whole story almost for the most part. A few levels here and there were missing, and just it looked like utter chaos on the screen too when they had all 4 turtles going at once against as many as 5 or 6 enemies on the screen at once. So wasn't particularly happy with that. But if you're gonna play a Ninja Turtles game, you might as well play a Ninja Turtles game from when the original series was still on TV. And I really liked the new stuff too. I didn't watch a lot of it, but it looked like it was doing people doing a good job. Like, get that bomb little thing right there, and you can just run through people. It does this crazy spin move. But there's a movie that came out called Turtles Forever, which had the new Turtles and the old Turtles together in it, and man, that was actually really good. I convinced a friend of mine, I had heard about it from the Nostalgia Critic of all people, and I convinced a friend of mine to watch it, and he thought it was amazing too. It was a really well done movie all in all. I thought it was so much fun to have those two very different types of turtles together, and then at the end they bring in the comic book Ninja Turtles, which are so dark and like just like kind of like the dark version of Batman, kind of like comparing the 1990 Batman movies to the new ones. So here's Metalhead here. I totally remember having this guy growing up, the action figure of him. He was really chromed out, very shiny. But he's pretty easy. All the enemies in here have a pattern. You're probably going to take a few hits, but it's a matter of the whole depth perception when it comes down to it. It's not so hard, but it can be a little tricky sometimes. But this was designed as a quarter-eating game anyway, so what to expect. So there we go. Down goes Metalhead. Boom! Next time we're coming back. We're taking on level 3. We're doing some sewer surfing. This has been the Johnny Cage. Subscribe, like, comment if you have not, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.